Honestly, I'm a chicken nerd. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jason. This is Our Creation Homestead, and we are talking today about something that I feel very strongly about. We are very chicken centric here, okay? These girls behind me right here are what this whole thing centers around for us, okay? We love these chickens. We're gonna have a ton of chickens, always gonna have a ton of chickens. I need 10,000 chickens, okay? I love them to death. And there's this thing going around the internet. Some very popular farmers, YouTubers, homesteaders, very popular, brilliant, smart, very smart people, okay, are going to tell you that these girls behind me right here only lay eggs, a solid amount of eggs, only lay a good amount of eggs for 2 years, maybe 3, okay? They're going to tell you that these chickens behind me will lay 50% less eggs in their 3rd year than their 2nd year. Okay, they're going to tell you all these things, and it's kind of scary for the backyard chicken keeper because you've only got so much space, right? There's only so much space to them, and you don't want to have chickens not laying eggs but feeding them. But honestly, Angela and I love chickens. We focus on the breeds. We collect the data. We do all these things. Honestly, I'm a chicken nerd. When I say collect data, I mean Angela and I know which eggs are laid by which hen, and then we collect that. We take those numbers, collect that data every day, write down the temperature, the high temperature that day. If there's a snow event or a massive storm, we write that down, and we total each each tally. We tally it all up, and we make each total for each week, for each hen, total eggs, everything. Okay, so we had those records for a few years. And so I take a little bit of umbrage to the idea that these chickens are going to decrease in laying. We have 7-year-old hens, 5-year-old hens, 3-year-old hens, and 1-year-old hens. Yes, means every 2 years we bought chickens. Okay, did that to stagger the laying, knowing that, hey, they're going to die, things are going to happen, right? It's just have livestock is to have dead stock. So things will happen, but we're doing this to make sure that we've always got hens laying, to make sure that our egg count keeps going, to make sure that we have food, because this is what we do, right? We produce food on our property. And if you've been following our channel for any time, then you may have come across the videos where it's well documented that we had issues with our chickens not eating the feed last year. Okay, so the chickens we bought last year had stopped eating, and then our older hens had stopped eating. And literally, there's feed in the feeder, never getting eaten. Like taking 8-9 days for us to go through any feed at all. So it was very strange, and we'd come to that conclusion. At that point that we had to switch feeds. Okay, very clearly, we just had to make a switch. The feed we were using was a locally milled, cheaper feed. Okay, not organic, not non-GMO, nothing, just a cheaper feed, locally milled. And it was fine for so many years, so we thought, but obviously they weren't eating it. So we made the switch and switched to an organic, lightly milled feed from New Country Organics. And it's probably well documented how much I love that feed, how well our chickens have done on that feed. And we now have the data to show you just how well they've done on that feed. And do chickens really only lay for a couple of years? Does their laying really go down that much as they get older? They're going to get older, and their laying will go down a little bit as they get older, but is it that drastic of a decline? Now, first things first, I'm going to tell you that before I present this data, before I present this evidence, that I'm not showing you all the evidence for all the data for every chicken, because some of them just simply got older, some have died, some have quit laying, some have gotten broody, which means they were thinking they were going to hatch eggs, which we're not going to hatch eggs here because we don't have a rooster, we don't have fertilized eggs. But so things affected certain one of them's laying, because some of them are just simply old, and that's, well, they're going to quit laying, they're going to die, things like that. So we're not presenting the data for every chicken because there's health issues that just happen as they get older, and that has nothing to do with the feed in general. But there are 7 hens, and we have them by name. Okay, so those same people that will tell you that you know, chickens don't lay eggs that long will also tell you that you shouldn't name your hens because you're not a real homesteader, right? We're gonna name our chickens. We're always gonna have a backyard flock no matter where we're at, and we're always gonna have chickens that have names. We have a personal relationship with these chickens. It's kind of weird. Okay, it's true. That's real. We love these hens, and this is just how it's gonna be. Does not mean that we don't know what we're doing with them. Okay, so we have 7 hens. I will name them, and you'll see a short video of them as I name them and what breed they are, because that matters. The breed matters. Okay, the breed matters a lot when it comes down to longevity in laying and prowess in laying in general. Some breeds just lay better than others. Some breeds are hardier than others, and so that's part of what this is. That's part of why some hens are not included in this, because they're just not a hardy breed, not a fantastic laying breed anyways. But again, there's many buts here. There's overwhelming evidence, and I'm getting ready to show you, that these hens will certainly be effective layers for many years. And now I'm going to forewarn you that one of these names was named by our like 7-year-old niece at the time. Okay, so there's some of the names are a little too cutesy for me, but that's just how they're going to be. All right, so the first one is a 7-year-old New Hampshire red named Sweetness. That's Angela's chicken. Favorite chicken. They are tight. All right, but Sweetness is a 7-year-old New Hampshire red. She's been a great chicken for 7 years. Last year, this is from March to June. Okay, so 122 days. I consider March to June the prime laying season. Okay, so for the prime laying season is what we've totaled here. Okay, so for 122 days, Sweetness in 2021, she laid 72 eggs. Fair amount. Good amount of eggs. This year, she laid 76 in that time period. So she went up. She got a year older, and she went up and laid more eggs. And actually, last year, side note, she quit laying by the end of July. She quit laying, and she didn't lay again until the following March because they molt and everything else. This year, here we are mid-August, and she's still laying. So she's laid longer into the season as well. Big deal, very big deal. All right, the next one is another 7-year-old New Hampshire red, or New Hampshire actually is technical breed name, but people know by New Hampshire red. New Hampshire, named Sweetie Belle. Obviously, that's the one the little girl named. All right, and now this chicken last year was laying eggs that were not even usable. They were whole eggs, but they were gelatinous inside. Shells were very thin, just not usable eggs. She laid plenty of eggs, but she didn't lay usable eggs. So this year, she's a year older, and so last year she laid 78 of those eggs, and now she's a year older this year, and she laid 79 of those eggs. So she laid more eggs again, even though she got older, and this year all of her eggs have been usable. So the health of this chicken overall has been amazing, and it got better. Okay, so now we have a 5-year-old Welsummer named Gracie. Crazy, wonderful, sweet little chicken. Last year, Gracie laid 85 eggs in that time frame as a 4-year-old hen. This year, she's 5 years old, and she laid 85 eggs again, same time frame. Super consistent, very consistent. She should have laid less eggs, correct? She's still laying the same amount of eggs. So it brings us to a 3-year-old Easter egger named Maggie. All right, laying pretty little green eggs. Last year, Maggie laid 85 eggs. This year, she laid 83 eggs. Not the drop-off that you would expect, right? Madeline, another Easter egger, 3-year-old. Last year, she laid 89 eggs. This year, she laid 85 eggs. Again, slight drop, but not 50%. Not as a, and she's 3, right? So from 2 to 3, 2 years old to 3 years old, they're supposed to lay 50% less eggs, and that's just not what's happening. Right? So now it brings us to a 3-year-old New Hampshire named Tootie, our best laying hen we have. Okay? Now she is a little different because she is our best laying hen. She's been on massive streaks of laying eggs every day for over a month. okay, when she was 1 year old. Last year, Tootie laid 108 eggs in those 122 days. She went on 3 separate runs of 29 straight days, 15 straight days, and 16 straight days. A crazy amount on bad feed, okay, at that. This year, she's laid 97 eggs in that same time frame, which, okay, so she dropped off 11. That's a bigger drop off. But, and she went on separate runs of 11, 17, 13, 10, and 14. So she went on more double-digit straight days, but she laid fewer eggs. Okay. But as a 2-year-old to 3-year-old, she should have laid 70 eggs if she was dropping off that much, right? Or less. But she didn't. Then that brings us to Tilly, another 3-year-old New Hampshire, who up to this year was laying our best eggs, our most perfect, hardest shelled, biggest, best eggs consistently. This year she's kind of been topped by a new hen, but that's just how it is. But so she last year in that time frame, she laid 91 eggs in those 122 days. Beautiful, all extra large to jumbo eggs, okay? Big, large, round eggs, perfect eggs. This year she laid 88. Amazing hens. But that's, the thing is, what I'm trying to tell you is there's 2 things here. First of all, your hens can lay longer than you want to give them credit for. These chickens are going to lay for years to come. Years. If you feed them well, take care of them, keep them clean, do the right things for them, care for your chickens, and they're going to be healthy and lay plenty of eggs for years to come. Next thing is, New Country Organics is the absolute best chicken feed there is. There's no question. No question, the data shows it. It's amazing feed. New Country Organics feed, if you can find it somewhere. If not, you can buy it online, just it costs to ship. But if you can find a dealer, New Country Organics is the feed for you. This is some crazy chicken nerd stuff today, but it's super important to us. I think it's highly important information for backyard chicken keepers to understand that, hey, your girls can lay better. Choose the right breed, take care of them well, and they're gonna be super healthy hens laying for years to come. So thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.